Hi everybody, this is Andreas Nest, business coach. Today I'm talking to Alastair, and he runs a company called Homeopathic Al, and he is a natural health practitioner. So I want to talk to him and learn a bit more about his story. So Al,
hi Andreas, hi.
Thanks for seeing me. So tell us a bit more about you and your job.
I help people get well, I help people stay well using homeopathic medicines, and most of what I do is do home visits for those people locally, I suppose technically regionally, because I cover obviously Hampshire, cover Surrey, South London, West Sussex, and I fit a day of the week for basically a different county. Been doing that for 22 years now.
So what made you get into the homeopathic field?
I love people, actually. I love the individuality of people, but in fact what I used to do before I decided to retrain as a homeopath was to work as a pharmacologist. I studied physiology and pharmacology at University at King's College up in London.
So when you finished your studies, you got your degree, everything you wanted, right? And then you started straight away as a business. You worked for somebody as a homeopath, or?
No, what happens is, I got my degree. I was living where was I living in my final year? I was living in West Norwood, South London, and in order to do a homeopathy course, it's not like you go for a weekend and call yourself a homeopath. It's a 3-year full-time course,
right,
or a 4-year part-time course.
So you have to start studying again.
That's quite. You've got to want to do it.
Yeah, you graduated from that.
Yeah, that was 1996.
Okay, wow,
that's quite a while ago.
Yeah, quite a while ago. And then you started your journey as a health practitioner using homeopathic medicine.
What happens when you're training as a homeopath is that even in the first year, you're observing. You learn about homeopathy, but you're also observing case taking. There's a clinic on site, and you would watch it via video link where cases are taking place, because they're teaching you to be practitioners.
Yeah.
Rather than just learning homeopathy from a book, you're actually learning to be a practitioner. So by the time it comes to your final year, you're the people taking those cases, and someone else, like the first years, are watching it, whilst there's a qualified practitioner sort of overseeing that what you're doing is safe.
So then after that, you opened your store, basically.
Yeah.
You went out and says, hi, I'm now fully qualified in both disciplines, so who can I help? And how did you get customers? How did you generate your clients?
Well, there was a lady who had got a clinic in Dorking who'd upset her homeopath, I think, and phoned the college and said, I need a homeopath. And the receptionist there said, I think I've got the man for the job.
Right.
So I worked from that clinic, I think that was Mondays or Tuesdays from day one, so I hit the ground running. I mean, as far as I was concerned, it needed to be my job rather than my hobby. I worked from a clinic in Dorking, I worked from a clinic in West Wickham, I worked from a clinic in Orpington, and it was great. It was what's changed since then is that there are people who I see who might not be able to get up a flight of stairs. They might turn up in a wheelchair and go, well, how am I going to have a consultation up there? And you go, okay, they didn't tell you that we've got, okay. The next thing that can happen is someone wants to see you outside the time that a clinic is open, or someone might have, learning difficulties or attention problems, and they're shouting, bouncing off the walls and stuff like that. And what often happens in a clinic is you've got a situation where it used to be a big place that's been partition walled to make clinic rooms, and if someone's trying to have a massage or aromatherapy in the next room, they can hear what's going on when someone is shouting, and it's disruptive. And
so how did you overcome this?
For some of those people, I decided to do home visits.
Right.
As soon as people get wind of you doing home visits, you're doing home visits.
And
then
so you moved into from the clinics.
And some of the clinics were fine with that, some of them were not, and actually I ended up preferring doing home visits.
Okay, and you still associated with any clinics, or are you doing purely home visits now?
There's 2 clinics that I am involved with that I would love to stay with, and that's the Fountain Centre, which is in Guildford. It's a cancer unit, a charitable thing, so I work there as a volunteer. Same thing around here with Wessex Cancer Trust, based in Cosham. There's a few sites, but also there's a clinic in Chichester. You have to balance that out with, it's very expensive to own and run a clinic, and they're doing your marketing, they're doing the leaflets, there's videos.
So they generate clients for you.
But if you're known as a home visiting homeopath, what happens? So we'll see how that unravels as time goes on. But I love working for those clinics. I love the people you meet there, the people who run those clinics.
So outside of the challenges within the clinics, I mean, as far as your business is concerned and getting leads yourself, I mean, how do you generate your own leads to make sure that you have enough home visits and you are not depending on those clinics? What do you do in that aspect?
If you've been practicing for 22 years, that you've seen quite a lot of people. I've seen thousands of people. Clients are very good at generating more clients.
Referrals,
Yeah, so they are probably my best source of people finding me. The Society of Homeopaths has its own website. That's the governing body for my profession, so that I'm licensed, registered, insured, and fulfill code of ethics criteria, that sort of stuff. So if someone's looking for a homeopath, they can either use that. There's a website called findahomeopath.org, and they will look through that and go, that's the one local to me.
I see.
But having a website that's sort of homeopathical.com, people, it's I'm quite easy to find if you know what you're looking for, but I'm not associated with homeopath eczema, homeopath asthma, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
Some people
You're
are.
not specialised in certain areas.
No,
you do
I think I don't, for many reasons actually, because my speciality is the person, strengthening that person. Although there are particular sorts of illnesses for which people are more likely to see.
So it's more like a holistic approach than rather than identifying one certain area.
But I think that people always come with a problem that they want solving. But so there's word of mouth is amazing. Initially, working from clinics was helpful. Getting out there, doing talks, being visible, networking.
So apart from obviously moving away from clinics, being independent more or less, finding your own leads and everything, has there been any other major challenges that you think of that you had to overcome?
The challenge is, I'd like to shout louder, but I don't want to get shot down. And overcoming that fear of, being both rebellious and accepted is a bit of a balancing.
And how do you do that?
I'm working on it.
You're working on it. Work in progress.
Work in progress. Accepting that if you're going to put your head above that, you're going to get shut down. And
what would you say is an absolute highlight of your career so far?
Probably I still do it.
Still do it?
22 years on, you're still doing it. There are a lot of people who either don't make enough money from it and decide not to do it. They can't hack the flak and say, look, I'm going to do something else, which is such a shame, because there were some amazing homeopaths that decided not to do it because they
couldn't do it. So what kind of advice would you give to people like that?
It is a business as well as a job. It is when you're learning about homeopathy, you learn to be a practitioner. You learn how to take a case, you learn how to do it safely, you learn how to do it effectively, but you don't actually learn so much, at least when I learned, it might have changed, about how to make it a business. And
how did you make it a business?
I had to. I didn't have a plan B.
Yeah.
If you're doing something that you really love, you make it work. Also, the way in which I came to homeopathy is actually quite different. Many people choose it because they'd had a really good response to homeopathy themselves and thought, I want to do that. And there is a possibility that it doesn't suit their personality. There were some people who'd been civil engineers, people who'd been, and some of those are still homeopaths now, but actually it might not suit you. It's actually how you get into it can make a difference too. So it needs a sort of mental attitude. Some people find it extremely draining when people are telling you stuff that is harrowing. And part of home visits and how that's helpful is actually someone can tell you stuff that is as I say, it's harrowing. It's awful, and they've had to live through that, and they're surviving that. By seeing someone in their home and then me getting in my car and driving somewhere else, I can sort of let that go and let something else in.
Yeah.
It actually assists my process of being okay with the things that someone has told me.
Yeah.
We also have supervisors ourselves.
Yes.
Which we should have. It's not actually. It's important that we do that. I think it's important that someone has something like a business coach or a life coach or something saying, you know, sometimes people's supervisors do that, some people can do that independently of that, but someone who helps focus that side of your...
Somebody like a sounding board that puts you straight back onto the narrow.
For that. I tell you what one of the challenges is actually, if you choose, once you're established as a practitioner in a particular area, and then you think, I'm going to move.
Yeah. Then you have to start all over again?
Well, I couldn't afford to do that. It takes a long time to become established. And I love living here.
Yeah.
You know, I live by the sea. I can see Langston Harbour from my house. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Most of my clients are in Guildford, they're in Cobham, they're in Wallington.
So you've got a lot of travelling to do.
You know, next Thursday I've got Collier's Wood, I've got Streatham, all those sort of, so I do a lot of driving. The challenge was when we were thinking about where we were going to move to, where we can live in a house as opposed to a flat, was actually how far do you go where you can still see the people that you want to see. And
you are now trying to establish a circle of clients around where you live as well, I guess.
Yeah.
And that's why you go to networking.
Partly why I go to networking. I'm still with the same organisation I was with when I was in South London. Yeah. Fantastic organisation. And yeah, that's partly why I network, partly because also when you move to a place, you might buy a sofa on eBay and you want to know someone who's got a van.
Absolutely. And so it all works together.
So it all works together. Okay. I need someone to cut my hair.
Absolutely. So, is there anything you want to share with the audience about any upcoming events that you do? Anything that you want to tell the audience?
As I'm overcoming this fear of
what fear?
Being rebellious.
All right.
Being, you know, the sort of
showing people that you're rebellious?
No, just actually that there are different ways in which you can help yourself get well and stay well. That the things you might have been taught or believe or learn could be wrong, or that there are choices that you have in the way in which you deal with your health, deal with getting better, that sort of stuff. I don't want to do that more in a more visual fashion, be more vivid in doing that. So I'm sort of warning people they're going to see more of me.
Okay, and in forms of videos or
blogs, videos, talks, that sort of stuff.
So you're going out there to talk about it more, yeah?
Visibility.
Excellent.
I will do more of that.
Yeah.
So,
excellent.
And if someone wants to get in touch with me or has some opportunities to do that, I'd love to do that.
Well, Al, thank you very much for your time. It's been fascinating talking to you.
Cheers.
And for you guys out there, some good lessons here as well, especially if you're in a similar field, if you're a practitioner setting up your own practice, start lots of different things, networking events, have some publicity stunts, do something just to get the word around and let people know that you're out there. That's it for this week. Thank you very much, and I see you again. Bye-bye.